If you can still see my character, I am extremely impressed. My character in Minecraft Dungeons is being covered by all of this loot. Look at that. Whole bunch of droppable items, whole bunch of potions, whole bunch of pickups, and a whole lot of emeralds. And when I started playing this level just a little bit ago, I had 0 gems in total. So when I played this level, I just sat right here and I was idle for about an hour. I just went on a walk. I have about 10 to 11,000 gems right now. Let's just collect all these gems. Look at that. Oh my gosh. My FPS is really dropping. This is the amount of lag that these items bring. It's just so much. But look at all this droppable loot. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's gonna take a little bit to pick up all this stuff. Whole bunch of arrows that we picked up. Look at how many arrows we have. We are using a bow right now, just a regular bow, and we have 2,000 plus arrows. I mean, look at that. That is just so crazy. But if you're wondering how I got all of this, let me show you the build that I have. It actually goes all in handy. This is the perfect setup for idle farming in Minecraft Dungeons, but you can still achieve something like this with not as lucky of a build. This build that I'm using right now is from a modded save file, meaning I literally changed the enchants of these items and I also gilded them through the save file. But this is the best case scenario you can have for an idle farming. This is the best one. I actually checked over other YouTubers like Dungeon Fish, 4am. They have their own farming tactics, which they have legitimately gotten their items. This is more of just the best case scenario strat where you have the perfect luck in this one. So look at all these items that we have. We have a bunch of soul scythes, we have a bunch of longbows, we have a bunch of scale mails, hunter's armor, we have a sword, and we have some sickles. Ironically, we have the last laugh, which is just a unique version of the sickles. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff. So let me show you the enchants that I got real quick. And by the way, sorry, there's no face cam right now. I'm just kind of recording a short video for this one. But we have the last laugh, which is a melee weapon that inherently drops emeralds as its unique enchantment. And also, you can get triple prospector ×3. And you can also gild it with another triple prospector. And fun fact, prospector actually carries on to all of your damage, all of your kills in the game, which is why I also gilded and enchanted the bow with prospector. So you don't actually have to attack for this prospector to be in effect, but you just have to deal damage to mobs and make sure that you destroy them. So with the gilded glory armor, you also get this lucky explorer, which isn't really that relevant for the idle farming, but it also spends emeralds to cheat death, which is called the death barter. Now basically, if you collect a set amount of emeralds, then you are a lot less likely to die, because when you are about to hit 0, it just kind of refills a bit in exchange for those emeralds. And yes, you want to have at least 2 triple thorns in there. I did gild it with Final Shout. You also want to have Final Shout on the armor, so that way it activates your artifacts, which they actually help heal you and they help regenerate you. So you want to have a couple of allies, and you also want to have a totem of regeneration. But I also added another set of thorns just so it destroys the mobs a lot easier. But the thorns, because the armor is actually doing all of the damage, the game acts like both your bow and your melee are doing the damage. But regardless of what you use to do damage in the game, you actually just want to have prospector on at least one of your weapons. And if by some miracle you can have it on your armor, then it's also good to have it on your armor. But having at least one prospector enchantment on at least one of your things that you're using is necessary for this to be an idle farm, because otherwise you're going to get little to nothing. And also, you want to be on the pumpkin pastures mission, and you want to get to this drawbridge section, but you don't want to activate the levers. You just want to stay there and then kind of just wait for a while. You can just get off. You could probably go somewhere, go out, make sure nobody touches your computer, and you could basically just kind of stand there and just kind of wait for your artifacts to automatically unlock, and you'll be doing most of the damage, although you're not actually doing anything. Your character just does all the work. But this is the best case scenario, given that I enchanted it to the max, and I also gave it some pretty cool enchants here just to maximize my unkillableness and also the amount of emeralds that I get. But yeah, as I salvage these items, you also want to make sure that your difficulty is pretty low. If you're in the Apocalypse Plus section, you want to go to Apocalypse 1, or if you're in the really high Apocalypse Pluses, you want to go to just Apocalypse 7. Not plus 7, but just Apocalypse 7. And wow, we are gaining a lot of emeralds. And by the way, to unlock the Gilded Glory, I think you either have to do the tower, but a definite way to get it is to actually beat the DLC called Howling Peaks. I think that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's the one with the mountain and it has all the emerald armor, because the emerald armor actually gives you emerald getting enchants. Opulent armor is also good for this. You can use opulent armor if you want. You just want to get death barter to some aspect. And you probably want to gild this. But yeah, look at all of these emeralds that we're getting. And you don't have to beat the mission necessarily, but I'm just kind of killing some time by getting some mobs. So yeah, that is the Emerald AFK farming tactic. This is the best case scenario for your emerald farming tactics, but you do want to at least do the minimum for this to be effective. And by the way, if you're not in Apocalypse mode, you're in Adventure or you're in Default mode, you're probably just going to want to rank yourself up to Apocalypse mode by just beating missions, getting more items, because this is very effective when you have higher chances of dropping unique items, because Apocalypse actually re-rolls for rares much easier. So the higher difficulty, the better. But anyways, that's all I have for today. I'll see you all in the next time.